everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu in VMware Workstation. What is VMware Workstation? Well, VMware Workstation is a virtualization software that allows you to install an operating system on top of another operating system. Let me tell you an example. Suppose you're developing an application on Windows, but you need to test it on Linux. Well, instead of installing Linux onto your main hard disk, you can just create a virtual machine and install Linux on that. Now let's see how we can install VMware. For that, we have to go to this link and then click on download now for Windows. This is going to download VMware. The download has finished. I'm going to open this. It's going to ask if you want to allow this application to make changes. I'm going to click yes. The installer has popped up. We're going to click next. It's going to ask us to accept the license agreement. I'm going to click on it and click next. It's going to ask us where we want to install VMware. I'm just going to install it to the default location. Click next. It's going to ask for our user experience settings. It's going to ask if it wants to check for updates on startup and also join the VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program. I'm just going to click next here. It's going to ask us if we want to create shortcuts. It's going to click here next and click install to begin the installation. It has finished installing. I'm going to click finish. Now I'm going to launch VMware. Open it. And now we have this VMware window. Next thing we need to do is download the Ubuntu ISO image. For that, you need to go to ubuntu.com. Click on download and select the latest version. In my case, it's 2104. It's going to download Ubuntu. After it's done downloading, we're going to head back to our VMware window. Click on create a new virtual machine. Then I'm going to select the third option, which will create a blank virtual machine, and then I can install the operating system later. I'm going to click next. I'm going to select my guest operating system as Linux and Ubuntu 64-bit. Click next. I'm going to call this Ubuntu Linux. Click next. I'm going to give my hard disk space for the VM as 40 gigs. Click next. And then I'm going to click on customize hardware because we need to change some settings. I'm going to give it 6 gigabytes. I have 16 gigabytes in my system, my host machine. So I'm just going to give it 6 gigs. And for the processor, I'm going to give it 4 since I have 6 processors. Click on virtualize AMDB. This will increase performance. Then we need to go to new CD DVD. Click on use ISO image file. Then browse to a downloaded Ubuntu file. Here it is. I'm going to click close now. Then click on finish. So this has created a new virtual machine. I'm going to click on play virtual machine to start it. I'm going to put it in full screen mode. and it's going to ask you if you want to install VMware tools for Linux. I'm going to click download and install and return your VM. Click yes when it asks you for permissions. And in our VM, I'm going to select the first option, which is Ubuntu. And we are going to wait for Ubuntu to boot up. This is the Ubuntu installer. We have two options. We can either try Ubuntu or install Ubuntu. We can use this try Ubuntu if we want to test Ubuntu. It will be running off ISO or pen drive. And if you make any changes to this when you are trying Ubuntu, it will not be saved when you restart. In my case, I'm going to install Ubuntu. Click on that. It's going to ask for my keyboard layout. I'm going to choose English US since that's the keyboard I'm using. Click on continue and it's going to ask about updates and other software. There are two types of Ubuntu installations. There's a normal installation which contains a web browser, some utilities, office software, games and media players, while the minimal installation only contains a web browser and some basic utilities. There are also other two options. I can download updates while installing Ubuntu. This will save time after installation since it will download all the new updates while I'm installing Ubuntu. And I can also install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Since this is a virtual machine, I'm just going to keep it at the default and click on continue. It's going to ask where I want to install Ubuntu. Since this is a virtual machine, I'm just going to give all of this space to Ubuntu. So I'm going to select the first option, which is delete all the programs, documents, operating systems on this hard drive and just install Ubuntu. I'm going to click install now and click on continue. It's going to confirm the action. Just click continue. Now it's going to ask for my location. I'm going to select my location and click on continue. It's going to ask for your credentials. So I'm going to give my name. It's going to ask for the computer's name. I'm going to give it Ubuntu Linux. I'm going to pick a username and a password. Confirm the password and click continue. Just going to start the Ubuntu installation. It's going to take a few minutes. So Ubuntu has finished installing. I'm going to click restart now to restart the virtual machine. It's going to ask to press enter. I'm going to press enter. Now it's restarting. By default, it's going to boot into a new Ubuntu installation. I'm going to select my username and input my password. And there we go. We have successfully installed Ubuntu in VMware. Now you can customize Ubuntu to your liking. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.